Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be picking the books that I'm reading in June. I'm so excited for June because we're really getting to our summer reading bag. If you guys don't know, I've really been into seasonal TBRs this year specifically. I started doing them last spring in 2024, but it started off really small and now they've expanded to be really, really big. And I think on my summer TBR, I have like 60 books, which is actually smaller than my spring TBR. So hopefully it's more doable and I have more months to read the books in. And I always film my seasonal TBRs and post them over on my Patreon. My summer TBR will be coming fairly soon, so I'm going to be going over all 60 books over there if you guys are interested. But besides that, I don't have too much going on this month. In July, I am going to be hosting a readathon that's going to be very big, very massive. I host it every single year, so you know, we are currently planning it, so this is not an official announcement, but just look out, keep an eye out. So July, I know, is going to be very chaotic for me, and I'm going to be traveling a little bit in July as well, and I'm going to be traveling at the beginning of June, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. I've taken this trip like twice already. I'm going to go visit my friend Haley in Austin for her birthday, so I'm coming back, I think, on the 2nd of June. So a little bit, but not too much. And then the only major thing that I really have going on this month is my seasonal roulette readathon that I do over on my Patreon. So this readathon is inspired by my love of mood reading based off the seasons, but then it's also based off of my TBR spinner wheel we do every single month here. So what I do over there is for all the major seasons of the year, winter, spring, summer, fall, I host a week-long version where I make a spinner wheel. It has mostly like seasonal related prompts. So for summer, it could be like read a book with bright colors on the cover, or read a book that takes place by the water, or something like that. And then I'll normally add in a couple more general prompts as well, like read a paperback, read a book by a BIPOC author, read an anticipated release. But most of the prompts tend to be seasonal. And then we all for the week just read based off the spinner wheel. You could do like all your spins at the beginning if you want. You can spin as you go. I normally spin as I go. So I'm going to probably be trying to vlog that and post that over on my Patreon as well if you guys are interested in participating or watching the reading vlog. I also do kind of like mini, normally weekend versions for like smaller seasons, but it's normally like spooky season, love season for Valentine's Day, like things like that. So it's a really, really fun readathon if you guys would like to participate. My Patreon is always linked down below. But we are going to be doing our summer edition this month. I haven't decided the exact week yet. I'm filming this a little bit in advance because I am traveling towards the end / beginning of the next month. So I wanted to make sure I had ample time to edit this. But in June, we will be having that readathon. And besides that, I only have 2 reading vlogs planned that I want to do on the main channel. I've kind of realized that I can only really do like 2 reading vlogs a month, maybe 3. So I'm doing 2 for the main channel this month, hopefully, and then a 3rd one for my Patreon. One of those may not make it. Every single month, I always plan more reading vlogs than what actually gets posted. So we'll see what happens. The first one I want to do is a series reading vlog where I finish off series that I only have 1 book left in. I'm in the middle of a ton of series. I've started series since I was younger. I've been reading like YA and adult books since I was 11. So there are some series that I've been in the middle of since I was 11, aka like Throne of Glass. I literally read Throne of Glass and did a book report on it in 6th grade, and I've reread the first couple books multiple times, so I remember everything that's happened in the series, but I just haven't finished it because fantasy is so intimidating to me now. I don't know, but I have like a lot of series, I think almost 30, that only have 1 book that I have left to finish the series or to be caught up. And so I really, really would like to catch up on some of those. It's one of my reading goals for the year is to be able to finish off some series. So I would really like to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I would really like to choose a series because I am a mood reader, but the chaos in me kind of wants to have them chosen randomly, like either from a spinner wheel or a jar or something like that. I don't know. We will see. I haven't fully decided yet. And then the second reading vlog I want to do is just reading anticipated releases. We're getting into the second half of the year soon. So I really like to get to some of the anticipated releases I had that came out in the first half of the year that I haven't gotten to yet. I feel like this year I've been doing the best I've ever done at reading anticipated releases and new releases, but still the bar was kind of very low. And so I've been doing better, but not as good as I really want to be. So I really like to do that vlog, but I also just really want to read some summer books as well. Some of the series that I'm most interested in kind of continuing in is Emily Wilde. So I have the 3rd book, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, this last book in the trilogy. I love this cozy kind of fantasy series. It's great, and I would love to finish it off. Also recently, there was a new addition to a thriller that I really loved, and that was The Perfect Marriage. So recently, The Perfect Divorce came out, which is the sequel. And so there's only like 2 books in the series as of now. I don't know if there will be an addition. I never thought The Perfect Marriage would get a sequel in the first place, but I love that one so, so much. It really got me out of a reading slump. It's not like the best literary thriller of all time, but this is like a very fun pool read. And so I feel like I can imagine myself reading this by the pool. I also only have 1 book left in the Mindfuck series, which if you guys don't know, these are super short. Like, this is the entire series. So it's like 650 pages, but it's 5 books. So the last book is pretty short, so I would like to maybe finish this one off too. Also, the Auntie series by Jessie Q. Satano. I love that series. I just read the 2nd book this past spring, and so I would really love to finish off that series as well. Then even there's Creep by Jennifer Hillier. I read that book a couple years ago, and I really want to like dive into Jennifer Hillier's backlist, and that book has a sequel. So I would really, really like to read that one too. I think it's called Freak. So those are the series that are at the top of my mind, but again, I may do a randomized way to choose the books for the series as well. Here are some of my anticipated releases that I also own. There's a ton that I don't own either, and I have like arcs of or something like that, but I have Wild Dark Shore, which originally was not an anticipated release for me, but everybody's been talking about this book. The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I love They Never Learn. This one is a completely different genre, but I've heard this one has so much drama and tea. Something in the Walls, I haven't really heard anybody talk about, but it's about like a child psychologist who is going to deal with this case of this little girl who believes that she's possessed by a witch. It just sounds so good. And When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy. I read Mary and I liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars, but I'm really excited to see what else he can do. I really want to read Nestlings by him. I own it as well, but When the Wolf Comes Home also sounds really good, and it is a new release from him. Another new release that I definitely will be reading, probably in that reading vlog, because I will be reading it this month, that is The Unworthy by Augustina Bastarrica. This is the same author who wrote Tenders of Flesh, which I loved. If you guys didn't watch my May TBR, you may not have seen that I actually started a in-person book club, and we just had our first meeting in the month of May, and it turned out so well. We had like 9 people, including me, but 1 person ghosted us like way before the book club even started. So then, including me, there was 8 people who were supposed to come to the meetup, and all of us did. So it was amazing. We had such a great discussion. And the next person to choose was actually supposed to be me, but I wanted to read the new S.A. Cosby book, which comes out in June, but that's like too close. Like, it comes out June 10th. It's too close. I want to give the girls ample time to read it, so we're going to be reading it in July. So I asked the person after me if they would swap with me, and they were willing to. Erin, she's so sweet and so nice, and she actually chose The Unworthy, which surprised me because I was like, I don't know if these girls are going to read like the same things as me, and I literally already had this book, already owned it from Aardvark, and this one I just know is like an apocalyptic book, I think, and it has like cult/religious vibes in it, and I'm not a big like apocalyptic person. I don't really like it too much. In books, it's my favorite usually, but like I don't like it in shows, rarely like it in movies. Books is kind of where it fares the best for me, and Tenders of Flesh is kind of apocalyptic in a sense, so I'm excited to see what else she's going to do. This one has been getting a lot of mixed reviews, so I'm nervous to read it, but it's super short, so this one would definitely be featured in that anticipated releases reading vlog for sure. Then for other book clubs, I also always host my own book club over on my Patreon, The Final Chapter. And in the month of June, we're going to be reading Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang. This is a book that some of my patrons mentioned they were really excited to read, so I put it on the poll and it won. And I read Natural Beauty by this author, and I thought it was going to be like a favorite for me. I think I read it in April, and I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It was decent, but it wasn't like an absolute fave for me, which did disappoint me a little bit because I thought I was really going to love it. And I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. So I'm nervous about this book, especially because I feel like reading the synopsis, I still don't know what the book is about. Like, it's one of those books where no matter how many times I read the synopsis, I still don't understand it. And it is kind of like a sci-fi as well. I think it's about an artist, and they use this kind of technology, empathy technology, to blur minds is kind of what I got from it, but I don't really know what that means. And also, where does like the title Immaculate Conception come in? Like, that's what I want to know, because that kind of gives an idea of like what the book is going to be about, and the synopsis doesn't really match that title. So I want to know like where the title is going to come in. So I am really excited to read this because I'm interested to see like what it's actually going to be about, since I don't really know, but I think it's going to be a good read. Hopefully we have a really good discussion about it. I'm not going to be participating in any other book clubs this month. None of the other book clubs I'm a part of kind of interest me. I kind of just pick and choose when I participate in other book clubs. But these 2 book clubs, my Patreon book club and my in-person book club, I'll be participating in every single month. But besides that, I kind of just pick and choose, as I said. And you guys may be asking, Deja, where's the TBR jar? Shouldn't we do the TBR jar that you've been doing for the past 2 years? Well, guys, I need to revamp the TBR jar because I use this app called BookBuddy to scan in all the books that I physically own. And Book Buddy sometimes gets a little out of hand because my books have always been divided for the past few years between like college and my parents' house, and now it's here at my parents' house. So I know there are some books that I've kind of gotten missed that I didn't scan in there that I kind of forgot. And then also there's so many books in my parents' house that I haven't thought about in a year, 2 years, 3 years. And I just want to go over there and unhaul and purge books. But that also means that now I'm going to have to like delete everything on Book Buddy and restart. I do it honestly like every like 2 years, but normally I do it over the summer when I'm at my parents' house, when I'm living there, but now I'm not in college anymore, so I'm living here. So my books are still divided. So I need to like go over there, unhaul books, scan everything in again, and then I need to come back here and scan everything in again. And then I need to like categorize all the books from the books that I read, from the books that I need to read. And it's just going to be a long process. So I'm hoping to really have the TBR up and running again by like August, but we will see. And the last main obligation I have reading wise for this month is my buddy read that I've been doing of the Count of Monte Cristo with my mom and my sister, and then also a couple of my patrons. And we started this in May, like the day after Mother's Day. And so it's continuing into June. We are like 50-ish% of the way into the book now. And so we have like the last half to read in June. We definitely will finish it in June. And I am really liking it so far. I really liked the first 25 to 30%. I thought it was really good. And then this last like 15%, I've gotten a bit confused on what is exactly going on. So I'm hoping that we can kind of like come back a little bit and I can start enjoying it a little bit more again. But so far it is good, so I'm excited to continue. I lent my physical copy to my sister, so I've been reading on my Kindle because I was like, there's no way I'm reading a 1,300 page book physically, like holding that book. Too much. So I've been reading it on my Kindle, but that's also something I'm going to be reading this month, like a little bit every single day. So now we're going to be getting into my spinner wheel, my favorite part of the month. I think this month I'm going to do 6 spins. I normally do 5, but I think I want to do 6 because I don't have too much going on this month, and I just really am like in the mood to read, but I don't know what I want to read. That's why I love TBRs, because I get so overwhelmed with choice, and I am a mood reader, but I get so overwhelmed with choice. So when I get a prompt, I'm like, okay, that limits my options to this, and then I can choose what I actually want to read. And so I think I'm going to do 6, but I also get 1 veto every month if you guys are new to my TBRs, where if there's a prompt that I don't want to do or don't want to fulfill, I can just veto it and then respin, but I only get 1 per month. So let's do the first spin. I don't know if y'all can hear the noise with the mic, hopefully. We got a recent purchase. Okay, I have to think about what I've recently bought. So my most recent purchase was actually bought by my boyfriend. It is one of the Abby Jimenez books, and I thought it was the first one in her other series, which I think is actually the Friend Zone, but I accidentally got the second book, which might be like the Fall Risk, I think, but that's the second book in the series, so I want to like read number 1, which I don't own, so I can't choose that for this prompt. And then the last purchases I bought before that was I went to Walmart and I bought 2 books. One of them was Sunrise on the Reaping, which I already read in May, and then the other book was The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose, which I think would be a great pick because it would be such a great pool read, and I could read it for that series reading vlog. But then also in April, I bought some books from an author. I bought 3 of her books. One of them she forgot to send, which is completely okay. I'm not mad. I contacted her and she's sending it out to me. But I bought 3 of her books, and I bought them at the beginning of April, but they just came and I unboxed them yesterday. So they're recent to me. Even though it's not like the most recent purchase, I just recently received them. And the one I'm really excited to read from her is Sugar by Mia Ballard. So these are kind of like my 2 options that I'm debating between. I really want to read both of these. So I don't know, like they're both on my summer TBR, and I think they'll both be great for the summer. This one I just know is very unhinged, and it's horror by a Black author, which I love, and it leads almost extreme horror, but you guys know I've kind of like dialed back from that, but by a Black author, I feel like I would love it. And this one just says, Satara is unhinged and unwell. When 35-year-old Satara Stratton discovers her husband Dean's treacherous affair with her best friend, she plunges into familiar territory, deceit and death. Having disposed of men before without a hitch, she finds a new thrill in this betrayal. But with her best friend on a crusade to expose her guilt, Satara must outpace everyone to keep her secret safe. Oh, it sounds so good. And then this one is the sequel, as I said, to The Perfect Marriage, which is about a woman, and she is a lawyer, and she finds out that her husband is cheating on her because he ends up getting arrested for his mistress's murder. Even though she just found out about his affair, she's like, he didn't do this, so I'm going to defend him in the court of law because I know he didn't do this, even though he cheated on me. And this is the sequel to that. That one's The Perfect Marriage, and this one's The Perfect Divorce. So I'm like, what happened to them? I don't know, but I think I'm going to go with Sugar, because I've been dying to get this on my TBR. I really, really want to read this in June. So I'm just going to add it on here because I'll probably read this anyways, but I really, really want to read this one. Okay, like I'm dying to. So Sugar it is. Now we're moving on to the second spin. Okay, so for the second prompt, we got Set During Summer. Okay, so I pulled my options of what I think is like most explicitly summer. Obviously, I made a summer TBR with books that give summer vibes, but I don't know if all of them actually take place during the summer. But these ones I think do. Let me set them down because there's so many of them. First one I have is This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham, which I think is actually YA, but it literally says this summer is going to get gory. And I know this one is about a thing called the hollowing. That means that some people went through, it's like a small percentage of the population underwent this transformation where they're only able to survive by consuming human flesh, and then there is like a synthetic version of human flesh has been made, and then we're following four friends that live in Southern California, and before graduation they attend a music festival, and then one of their friends goes feral and ends up killing and eating one of the boys in a band. So it sounds really good, really interesting. And then I also have The Golden Spoon, which says every summer for the past 10 years, six awestruck bakers have descended onto the manicured grounds of Grafton, the leafy and imposing Vermont estate, and basically they're filming Bake Week, which is basically like the Great British Bake Off. And it's like a cozy mystery slash thriller where someone gets murdered and they're trying to figure out what happened, but it takes place during the summer during this baking competition. Then I also have Dead 11, which I believe takes place during the summer. It is about this island that is perpetually trapped in the year 1994 on this island, and then a newcomer comes, and I think it takes place during the summer. I'm 90% sure, but I'm not 100%, so we'll set this one to the side for now. Then I have Curvy Girl Summer, which has summer in the title, so I feel like it has to take place in the summer. It says Bridget Jones's Diary meets Survival of the Thickest in Danielle Allen's Curvy Girl Summer, a smoking hot, hilarious novel about the perils of online dating. Apparently, there's like a one-night stand with her clingy ex, and she realizes this ain't it, and she's ready to move on past casual hookups, flings, and situationships, and she's like almost 30, yada yada. Now she has 7 weeks to find the perfect boyfriend to rub in her family's faces at this big fancy birthday celebration that she's been planning. And I think it takes place in the summer because it says Curvy Girl Summer, but it doesn't mention summer in the synopsis. And then I also have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really want to finish her kind of like historical fiction books. And this one takes place in August in 1983 in Malibu. And it's about four famous siblings throwing an epic party to celebrate the end of the summer. But over the course of 24 hours, their lives will change forever. So definitely a summer option. And then lastly, I have 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrandt, which is marked as romance, but I think it's kind of like romance, mystery, literary fiction. It says their secret love affair has lasted for years, but this will be the summer that changes everything. And I think it's following like these two people that are having an affair over 28 summers. Like they're having this affair for 28 summers. And so we're following that as well. And they've also been loving Ellen Hildebrandt. So I have some decent options here. Like, this is the problem, is like now I'm like, oh, I want to read all these. I'm really kind of in the mood specifically for these two, The Golden Spoon and This Delicious Death. And I always allow myself to replace a book within the prompt. So like if this prompt as it is read a book set in the summer. If I choose The Golden Spoon for the prompt in this video, but I end up reading This Delicious Death or another book set in the summer, I can replace that book in for that prompt. But I think, oh God, I really, really want to read The Golden Spoon bad, but This Delicious Death just sounds so good right now. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with This Delicious Death. It just sounds like it's going to be a fun read. Even though I really want to read The Golden Spoon so bad, this one just sounds like it's going to be a fun summer read. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the third spin. A mood read. Oh God, I could pick whatever I want. I could pick anything at all. Okay. kind of have too many options now. I honestly have too many options. I really want to finish the Auntie series, so I might choose that one, but I don't physically own it. So from the ones that I physically own, The Perfect Divorce. We could do this one because I want to choose it for another prompt. We could also do The Golden Spoon. Again, want to do this for another prompt. And then I have some other books that I'm like, I've been kind of drawn to these. Night's Edge. This is a vampire book. My friend Haley loves this book. And it takes a bite out of vampire lore in this blood-soaked novel about the darkest secrets we hide and how monstrous we can be to the ones we love most. And I think it has to do with like a mother-daughter relationship. So it sounds really good. I've also been dying to read Dark Matter. I think I'd really love this. It's not anything like summary or anything like that. It's like a sci-fi thriller, but I think I would love this. And then also False Witness. This one is on my summer TBR. I really am itching for another Karen Slaughter thriller. I just love her so much. I love how dark and gritty her books get. So I don't know. It's like if I knew all the prompts now, I would just choose, but I don't. I don't know. I think I am going to go with The Perfect Divorce because, as I said over and over, I think this is the perfect like pool summer read, and it would be great to read for that series reading vlog. Now we're going to go in for the fourth spin. We have a romance. Okay, a romance. So again, I have options for this one. These ones are all on my summer TBR. I have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I've already read this entire series. I love it. I adore it. But I want to reread it this summer. So I put it on my summer TBR because I was like, I want to reread it. And then I also have When True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one has been really interesting to me. It's about a woman who, when she was in her 20s, she got married to her high school sweetheart. He ended up like going on like a plane or a helicopter or something, and it went missing. And so now it's like 10 years later, she's in her 30s. She's presumed her husband to be dead because he's been missing for like 10 years. And she starts to get into a relationship with this other man from her past that I think was like a friend or something like that. And now her husband has come back and is like, hey, I was never dead. And so now she's kind of like stuck between these two men. And then I also have The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. This one sounds really interesting. I just know it's about this woman who has like this favorite series. She starts writing to her like favorite author of the series, and they're like talking online, whatever, but he actually writes under a pen name, and he moves into her apartment complex, and he knows that she's the person that he's writing to, but she doesn't know. So it's kind of like You've Got Mail. And then I also have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This one is on my 25 books to read in 2025. I don't even know why, because this one's like a billionaire romance. I don't know if I'm going to love it, and I'm still in the middle of her other series, her Flawless series. I've only read the first book, so I honestly would probably prefer to continue in that series than to read this one, but it's on my 25 books to read in 2025. I don't know, this one's just not drawing me in as much. So I think, honestly, I kind of want to go with Run True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I do. I really, really do. So I think this is the one that I'm going to go with. Now we're moving on to the fifth spin. We have Friend Group Drama. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move The Golden Spoon to a book set during summer, and then I'm going to move This Delicious Death to this prompt, Friend Group Drama, because it doesn't specifically mention any drama between these girls, but it's a group of teenage girls going to a festival, and one of them goes feral and literally kills somebody. That alone, your friend killing somebody when you're supposed to be at a festival, that alone is giving drama to me. So I think I'm going to move this one to this prompt and then move this one to set during summer. And now we're going to move on to the sixth and final spin for today. I just love doing this. I could keep spinning for forever. We have Young Adult. Okay, I already have This Delicious Death on here, which is Young Adult, and I don't feel like reading any other Young Adult this month, really, so I'm going to use my veto and respin. Let's hope I didn't veto for nothing and we get something good. We have a favorite author. I don't have too many things to pull for this because I feel like a lot of like the anticipated releases that I have for this year that are by anticipated authors I've either already read or haven't come out yet. So I don't really know what to choose for this, but I think I'm going to go with The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties by Jessie Q. Satano. This is the last book in the Dial A for Aunties series, or I think it's just called the Auntie series. I have loved the first two books in the series, and I also have almost finished the second book in the Vera Wong series. So I've read 3 books by her, loved all 3, and I'm on my 4th one, loving it by her as well. So I would count her as a favorite author, and I could read it for my series reading vlog. The only book I could really think that I would really like to read for this right now is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. It is the 3rd book in this series as well, so I could also read that one for the series vlog. It's Before I Let Go, This Could Be Us, and that's the 3rd book, but I want to read that before the end of May. I have a couple days left in May, and it was on my May TBR, so I'm going to try and finish it before the end of the month after I finish my current read, and I think I could read it, so I'm probably going to read that one before June even hits. So that's why I think I'm going to choose the 3rd Aunties book for this prompt. I'm just realizing now that I also forgot to go over my TBR for May because I'm not doing punishments anymore. If you guys don't know, for my spinner wheels, if I didn't complete all the books I chose, or all the prompts I should say, I could replace again with different books. So if I didn't complete all the prompts, I had to spin a wheel that had punishments on it. I stopped doing that at the beginning of this year, and so I always forget to go over my TBR for the last month, and so I only did 5 spins last month. I'm not going to get the books, but A Botanical Daughter was for a book for a video, which I did read, and it was in that spring reading vlog video I did. Then for 5-star prediction, I read Firefly Lane, which ended up being a 4.5 stars, so almost. Then for horror, I did The Final Girl Support Group, which I also did read. Then for 25 books to read in 2025, I did Only for the Week, which I also did read. And then for romance, I did Can't Get Enough, which I haven't read, but I have a couple days left in the month, and I plan on wrapping up. And even if I don't get to Can't Get Enough, I also read Ready or Not this month, which is a romance. So I did complete all the prompts regardless, but Can't Get Enough I didn't get to yet, but hopefully I will. So this is my TBR so far for this month, also adding in Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang and The Good, the Bad, and the Aunties by Jessie Q. Satano. So we have a decent range. We have some horror, a thriller, a like romance kind of women's fiction, a mystery, and another horror. So we have a good range here. I honestly could have added a little bit more romance here, but I'm okay with what we've gotten. I'm really excited for this month's TBR because I feel like I got a lot of books that I've been really wanting to read that I've been kind of putting off. So that's my June TBR. I would love to know what is on your June TBR down below, and if you think that there's any series or anticipated releases that I should prioritize for those videos, let me know down below. And while you're down there, you can leave the little beach umbrella emoji to let me know that you made it to the end, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody!
I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in, yeah. You got the nerve to be on me, taking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't ask me, cause baby, I'm on hiatus. I'm on hiatus.